October 4th, back up in the hangar for the afternoon, and did some research on the rivets where these were being called out. Where these, I thought it should be a dash 42, but in reality, this is a dash 41 rivet based on the thickness of all three materials. These are all three of these are 20 thousandths thickness, so we got 60 thousandths, which is 1.524 millimeters, which is just like 3 thousandths of an inch under what the minimum is for a dash 42 rivet. So those are dash 41s going there. We're going to work on our trim tab today. We got our parts all primered up that we needed to get primered. I don't have them out of the box, but we're going to get them up on the table here, and oh, thank you. Get those put together, and I'm just going to keep plugging away at the elevator and the elevator trim tab. Getting the forward spar on the trim tab clecoed up and ready to go, and this is something I think is kind of funny. I wait for an airplane to go by. And I think this is kind of funny because these are called, these ribs, they say these are the right side ribs, which makes sense because they're on the right side of the trim tab. But you get down here and you have to put a left rib on the right side of the right rib. So the right ribs here and here go on the left side of the left ribs and not the right side. I just think it's kind of funny. Anyways, onward and upward. Okay, got our trim tab, elevator trim tab clecoed on the one side, and then we're going to transfer drill through to the spar on this side, since this side of the spar and the ribs aren't drilled. And by the way, these are really super handy. They're Cleco clamps, so I'm just using those to hold that skin down against there across the whole length of the trim tab, and then we've got it trued up. There's no twist in it, and we'll go through and drill these out, Cleco them, and then we're going to rivet it all together. Okay, got our holes transfer drilled for the elevator trim tab, spar, and ribs. And again, wanted to give a shout out to Brandon C. He's actually where I got the idea of getting these Cleco clamps. Thanks, Brandon. These worked fantastic for holding that skin down on that spar while we drilled it. So anyways, that's it. Got the trim tab riveted up, except for one thing you don't do is you don't rivet. We're going to be putting hinges in here, so these are where the hinges go, down there in the middle, and then down here on the end. But everything else gets riveted up. Now we'll flip it over, finish the other side. Oh, I thought you were going to take a picture of me.
I did.
Oh.
Now I'm doing video.
Okay, we're trimming down the hinges for the trim tab, elevator trim tab, and this is take number 2. Since I was cutting this and I busted the holder for the cutoff wheel. Alright, I wanted to get a quick video of this here. So this is a pretty tricky operation. We are aligning the elevator trim tab hinges to the spar, the aileron spar. Gosh, that's hard to see with this. It's getting late in the day, so the sunshine in there makes it a little bit hard to see. But so what you have to do, the fun part here is you have to get this aileron trim tab, or elevator trim tab, lined up perfectly. Let's see, I gotta move that a little bit. Right there. You have to do that on both ends, and then you have to check the gap here. It has to be the same on both ends. And then you have to hold this hinge. I'll zoom this in a little bit. There's a hinge. That one that I trimmed. You have to hold that hinge down in there. And then we'll take a Sharpie, mark through the aft spar of the elevator, mark those where those holes are. Then we have to drill those holes. Then what? We Cleco that on, and then mark it on here.
Yep.
Fun. Well, we're finished up for the day, and let's see, what do we get done today? We got the elevator trim tab all done, riveted together. The exception being where the hinges attach on the top, right there, and in the middle, and on the other end. And I've read a couple places that they say that rigging up these hinges is a pain in the butt. I read that from a couple people. That's the dreaded elevator tab, trim tab hinge, and boy, it's a challenge, that's for sure. It's pretty tough to get these lined up in there, but I kind of figured out a way to do it. I took where you do the bend in the hinge, I bent it out, and then when I put the hinge down in here, that hangs out the bottom, so then I could do the side-to-side alignment using that. And then my wife, once I got it lined up, she was holding that on there and checked it over multiple times. And then once we got it measured out and made sure everything was there, I went through and I put marks on it so that we know that this is the EL, the elevator rear spar, and we got it pointed to the outside of the elevator so we know which way it's oriented. So then we'll drill that, Cleco that onto there, and then we'll get this aligned, and then mark it through from the other side. And then we'll have to drill that out, Cleco it all together. Well, I clean it up, Cleco it together, then rivet it on. So we have to do that ×3 for all of those. So it is quite a chore to get that done, but actually made some pretty good progress today. Getting the trim tab all completed. Got a few mysteries solved, I think. Figured out the rivet depth thing that I was talking about on the previous video. So we got all the right rivets and understand why, even though this was going through 3 layers of metal down here, why it still called for a -41 rivet, because it was just, still meets that criteria to use that rivet. But, so learning things as we go. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know when we're going to be up next time. Tomorrow? Probably tomorrow. We might come up after work, get some more. Maybe tomorrow after work we can get those. We'll get the other 2 hinges marked, and maybe get that ready. Then we'll have to drill those out, go down with the drill press and get those done. But yeah. So as always, if you find this entertaining or useful, give me a like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any comments, put them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, that's it for now.